Okay, welcome. Today we're going to do a flow level 1, and we're going to do some hip openers, but also strengthening the hips. So not just hip opening, but we need to stabilize the hips as well. So we'll do a little bit of both. So you can start lying down on your back, please. And go ahead and bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out. Yeah, Supta Baddha Konasana. Yeah, so this may be a little uncomfortable, but try to just be with the breath, be with the posture, and just let your breath be natural. Let your body relax, right? We want to start this practice relaxed. And try to deepen the breath. Be aware of your breath and in a way that maybe you haven't until now, right? During the course of our day, sometimes we take maybe shallow breaths that are 20% of our true capacity. So really see if you can reach full capacity of breath. Okay, and then from there, you're going to bring the knees together and feet on the floor. Yeah, okay. So from here, just stretch the legs out in front of you, stretch the arms up overhead, and just give yourself a big stretch. Take a couple of breaths. Yeah, move your feet. Yeah, okay. And then you're going to hug your knees into your chest. Yeah. And with the knees hugged in, place your hands on your kneecaps, and you're going to move your knees in circles. So the knees can either go together in circles or they can go apart in different circles, right? And keep the circles as big as you can and slow movement. And then reverse the direction of the circle. So make sure you're going in the other way. And just be mindful about what you feel. There's a lot of stuff that gets stored in the hip joints, energetically speaking. So just be mindful about what you're feeling as you move today. All right, and then bring the feet to the floor. We're going to take what I call windshield wipers. So the feet go out as wide as your mat. Yeah. And the knees are going to fall to the right, okay? And since it's a flow class, we'll kind of move with the breath. So the inhale comes up to center, the knees come up to center. Exhale, alternate sides and let the knees go the other way, yeah. So back and forth like this, inhale up, exhale over. And move slowly. Let yourself just move with your breath. You'll notice one side feels a little differently than the other side. Yeah. Good. And then bring the knees back to center and hug them in one more time. Okay. Then you're going to roll over to your right side and come up and sit. So you want to sit, Sukhasana is a really great pose for getting into the hips. You're going to try to cross at the shins. A lot of times people sit like this and they kind of sit like this. I'm really lazy here on purpose, but you know, sometimes you see this or you see this, right? And if you're really tight here and that's as good as you can, as far as you can go, that's fine. But just try to get a little deeper on the shin if you can, okay? Rest your hands on your knees, close your eyes for a moment, sit up. It's a little easier to get a full breath when you're sitting up, so take a couple of deep breaths. Good. And then you're going to fold forward, walk the hands in front of the legs and fold. Let your head drop. You're going to feel a lot of sensation in the low back and in the hips and the glutes. and then come back up. Once you come back up, change the cross of your legs so the other shin goes in front. And again, crossing pretty deep at the shin. And then you're going to walk the hands forward and fold and just let your head drop and breathe into those areas that are feeling tense or tight. Try to release tension on your exhales. Good, and then coming back up. All right. So we're going to walk the right hand out to the side, extend the left arm up, and just take a stretch on the left side. And really feel that left sit bone press down as you stretch the left arm. And then come back to center, and you're going to go to the other side. And same thing, keep the right sit bone really rooted to the floor. And then on the breath, so the inhale brings you up, exhale takes you over. Inhale takes you up, exhale takes you over. So just listen to your own rhythm of breath. You don't have to do it on our pace or my pace. Do listen to your own breath pace. Yeah, maybe one more to the left. And stretching into that low back a little bit. And then come up to center. Okay, let's come on your hands and knees and get off your seat. We'll gradually start moving a little more. So hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. You're going to start cat and cow. So you're going to feel the chest lift as you inhale. Exhale, round your back. Drop your head, tuck your tailbone again, inhale. Right, so back and forth like this at your own pace, right? I like to kind of hang out in one of these poses for maybe an extra breath and feel the muscles stretching. Feel free to do that. Okay, and then back, after you exhale, just come back to a neutral back. And from this spot, walk the hands forward about a handprint forward in front of your shoulders. Tuck the toes, lift up, downward dog. So maybe your first downward dog of today. So give yourself a chance to kind of ease into it. Right? Bend one knee, stretch the other leg, and then switch. Let the head hang. And then bring your knees down wide apart, child's pose, big toes together. So this is your resting pose if you need it. You can always rest here and catch up with us later. All right, and then come up to your hands and knees. So let's start a fairly easy, I don't mean easy like it's no work, but fairly simple vinyasa. So you're going to start with your hands a little bit in front of your shoulders, okay? And you're going to exhale as you lower down, chaturanga, okay? And then you're going to inhale, cobra, lift the chest, keep the elbows hugging in, and back to child's pose with the arms extended forward. And again, up. Inhale as you come up, maybe walk the hands forward a little, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, extended child's pose. Right, that's the idea. And one more. Inhale as you come up. Yeah, inch the hands forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Yeah, take it at your own pace. And back to downward facing dog. So let's go to downward dog on that last one. Yeah. And then we'll start to make it a little more challenging. Good. Let's actually walk both feet forward to the front of your mat. And just fold there over your legs. Yeah. Bend your knees in these forward folds if you need to. If your low back is bothering you, definitely bend your knees. Take 2 more breaths here. Just let the whole body hang. And then let's take Ardha Uttanasana. So the hands come to the shins, Extend the chest forward. Roll the heads of the shoulders back. Sit bones reach back. Stay lifted like this, but take the arms out and up and come all the way up to standing. And exhale. Okay? Let's take Surya Namaskar A. Just slowly at first and get warmed up. So exhale here in Tadasana. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale and fold forward. Okay? Lift the chest, extend the spine. Plank pose. You can step back and find plank. Yep. Inhale there. Exhale, chaturanga. Now you can bring your knees down like we were doing before. It's fine. And then cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Yeah. So that's a good, solid sun salutation. It's just going to get all the muscle groups moving. So when you're in downward facing dog, you can make little adjustments, but really you don't need to feel like you have to do anything, right? You're just breathing and being in the pose. Okay, now you can step, or if you feel energetic, you can hop forward to the front of your mat. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, fold back down. And then stand up. Reach the arms, extend. Exhale. Okay, let's go again. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana to lengthen and back to plank as you exhale. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Yeah. So take your cobra or upward facing dog if you're feeling like upward facing dog, and back to downward facing dog. Okay. Now lift the right leg up and back behind you. Bend the right knee and open your whole body to the right side of the room. So right kneecap is trying to point up toward the ceiling. Okay, and then straighten that right leg, bring the foot back to downward dog. We're going to step forward before we do the next side. So step or hop forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, back down. And all the way up, reach the arms. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. So move at your own pace. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back to plank pose. Inhale there. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Yeah. So cobra or upward facing dog. And then back to downward facing dog. Left leg now lifts up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Yeah. So you're trying to imagine the left kneecap pointing up toward the ceiling. One more breath. Now straighten that left leg. Bring the foot back to downward dog. Bring the knees down, take a child's pose. Rest your arms for a second. Yeah. Let your breath be smooth. All right, so let's come up to your hands and knees. And we're going to go back to downward dog. So we're going to do, without staying in these poses very long, we're going to do a little warm-up that we call warrior dance. Okay, so you're going to step your right foot forward and come to warrior two. We'll just get you set up in warrior two. Front heel down the middle of the back arch. That's the alignment for the feet. Okay, so warrior two. Yeah. Now you're going to flip the right palm. Inhale as you reverse warrior. Exhale, elbow to the thigh, left arm extends over. Inhale back to reverse warrior. And then exhale the hands down around that right foot, go back to downward dog. Okay, and we're going to move like this. Left foot steps forward. Come up warrior two. Right, so the first one we'll just take it a little easy. Flip the left palm, inhale, reverse. Exhale, elbow to the thigh, right arm reaches over. Inhale, back to reverse warrior. And hands come down around that left foot. plank pose this time. Take an inhale there. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And back to downward facing dog. So we're going to do this 2 more times on each side. So right foot steps forward, warrior 2. With the breath now, inhale, reverse. Exhale, elbow to the thigh, left arm over. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, the hands down around the right foot, downward dog. Right, left foot steps forward, warrior 2. Find your balance there in warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, elbow to the thigh, right arm reaches over. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, the hands down around that left foot, plank. And exhale, lower chaturanga. Okay, inhale, good, cobra, and back to downward facing dog. So that's good. We're going to do one more on the right foot. So right foot steps forward. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you bend into that right knee a little. Yeah, and then inhale, reverse. Exhale, elbow to the thigh. Inhale, reverse. And all the way down, hands down, step back, downward dog. And then left foot steps forward, warrior 2. Yeah, working out all those cracks. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, elbow to the thigh, right arm reaches. Inhale, reverse. And hands come down around that left foot, plank. I'm going to take a vinyasa. Yeah. So this sort of just gets the legs moving in what we call an open hip position with warrior 2 and extended side angle. All right. And then step the feet forward. And you're going to come sitting down, actually. So just sit down for a moment and rest. Okay? Nothing wrong with a little rest once in a while. Bring the soles of the feet together. So you were here earlier on your back, and here we are just sitting. Sit up as tall as you can. And you're going to fold forward to some extent. Okay? Chest extends forward. If folding forward just is too much, then don't worry about it. You can just sit here and breathe. Just let gravity take over with the legs. Let yourself be heavy. And then come back up. All right. Help the legs to come together. Now you're going to cross at the shins. Roll over your knees. Bring your hands down in front of you. Plank pose. Step back. Good. So, actually press back to downward dog. Yeah. Let's step forward to the front of your mat again and come standing up. But inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. And then stand up. Reach the arms up. Yeah, exhale. Okay, so tree pose, which again is going to work, especially in this leg, it's going to work the muscles coming into the hip joint. So I'm going to stand on the right leg. Open the left. And I want you to think about feeling this inner thigh roll up and back away from the front of your mat, okay? And when you feel steady on the right leg, you can lift that left foot below the knee, or if you're feeling ambitious, you can put it above the knee, but it's not necessary, right? Keep feeling that left thigh roll up and back to the back of your mat. And then hands can come here or here. Whatever works for you. Take a couple breaths. Can you grow a little taller out of that right hip? So the standing leg is getting a lot of work in the hip joint, which is good. And then turn that left knee forward and step it down. Yeah, so that's what I like about tree pose, is that you're getting sort of the flexibility on this side and you're getting the strengthening on this side. Okay, so stand on the left. Open the right leg. Yeah. And you don't have to, if you never lift the right foot, it's not a big deal. Just want you to work the action of rolling that right inner thigh up and back, up and back. Okay? And if you feel steady enough, you can put the foot below the knee or above the knee. If you're feeling like you're having a hard time balancing, your arms can be down here. That's fine, okay? So keep working, right, inner right thigh up and back. Stand up a little taller. Yeah, you have to really work in that left hip. And then turn that right knee forward and step down. Good, okay. Yeah, you feel that? Yeah, I feel that. I don't know, why do I always work so hard when I'm demonstrating? Not like you can tell, but I do. Okay, so exhale here. Inhale, extend the arms up. We'll take a sun salutation. Get back to the breath. Exhale as you lower. Inhale as you lift. Exhale back to plank pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Okay, at your own pace, move through these postures, listening to your breath. Let it guide your movement. All right? Okay, now lift that right leg up and back again. Bend the knee and open the hip, yeah. Okay, take one more breath there. And then extend that right leg straight. Square the hip points toward the floor. Tuck that right knee into your chest and step the right foot all the way to the front of your mat. And then you're going to bring your back knee down. Yeah, and you always want to make sure this ankle is under the knee or slightly in front of it. If it's behind the knee, you're going to lose stability in the knee and the ankle, right? So so it might take a moment to kind of wiggle this foot forward or wiggle that knee back, but take the time to do that. Okay, now tuck the back toes, press the back legs straight. Let the hips drop a little bit more here. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I want you to wiggle that right foot in toward the midline of the mat. Drop your back heel down so that you look down and you see heel to arch in your feet. So you can come up for warrior two. Yes. It is, right? That's how it should be. Yes, she said it feels deep coming up that way. That's how your warrior two should be. That's good. Okay. Flip the right palm, inhale, reverse. Now bring the elbow to the thigh again. Left arm can reach all the way over your ear and pause. Okay? So there's a lot going on in this posture, but for today, I want you to think about letting the hips drop down toward the floor, yes. So you really got to bend into that right knee. Yeah. And then could you bring the right hand down to the floor inside your right foot? Yes, and extend the left arm past your ear. So that'll be the full pose. Yeah, extending this arm forward if you can. And then come back to warrior two. Good. It's a deep bend, I know. And then bring the hands down around that right foot. Go back to downward dog. Right? Strengthening up the quadricep muscles are going to help support your hip. Right? We're going to strengthen and bring some flexibility into the hips today. Left leg lifts up and back behind you. Bend the knee, open the hip. Yeah. Now, that leg's going to straighten. You're going to turn both hip points to face the floor. Tuck the left knee, step the left foot forward. Spend a moment getting that left foot where you want it, forward, and the back knee down. Yeah. So just be in the low lunge for a few breaths, right? This is sort of what I consider an anecdote to sitting all day long, right? So let your hips come forward so you stretch into that right hip flexor. Okay, now tuck the back toes and press that back leg straight. Good. Now, you're going to wiggle that left foot in toward the midline of your mat. Bring the back heel down. Look at your feet and make sure you've got heel to arch. Then, with that left knee bent, come on up, warrior two. Yes, that's great, warrior two, you guys. So, take an inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, left elbow to the thigh. Right arm extends past the ear. Yep, let the hips drop toward the floor. That's it. I know it's a lot. But as I was saying in a class this morning, when you take your left hand down to the floor, take it down to the floor inside the left foot, the whole body has to cooperate with you to get the hand down there. It's not just reaching your hand to the floor, but you got to let your hips drop, and you got to let that left knee bend also, which is a lot of work. So breathe while you're working. Now stay that bent in the left knee. Come back to warrior two. And then bring the hands down around that left foot, plank. And take your vinyasa. So you adjust as you need to, your vinyasa. Yeah, back to downward dog as you exhale. How about a child's pose? Bring the knees down wide apart, big toes together. Yeah, rest your arms wherever you want to. Just take a breath. Let yourself relax. And tight hips and low back problems are always pretty much related. So the stronger and more stable but flexible your hips are, the healthier your low back is going to be. But it's a fine balance, right? You don't want your hips so strong that they don't move, but you don't want them so mobile that they are overly mobile and throw your back out. So it's what's so great about yoga. You get to do both, strengthen and stretch. Okay, come back to your hands and knees and back to downward dog. Okay, both feet step forward to the front of your mat. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward. And then come up to standing. Good. Exhale. Another sun salutation. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to lift the chest. And back to plank pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower chaturanga all the way down. Inhale, cobra. And exhale back to downward dog. Okay. Now, you're going to go back to warrior two, but I want you to step that right foot way forward like you did before. So right foot comes way forward. Yeah. Make sure when you put your back heel down that your feet are heel to arch. And then come up. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Okay. So, warrior two, I want you to feel the same thing we were working in tree. This inner right thigh is rolling up and back toward the pinky toe side of your mat. This way. Okay? As you do that, tuck your tailbone under just a little bit and press your back leg straight. There. Okay, good. Now, inhale, flip the palm, reverse warrior. Exhale, straighten your right leg and bring your right hand down to your shin, triangle pose. Yeah. So, the legs have to be strong to keep you steady here. So firm up both thighs a lot. So we're going to flow here. You're going to inhale as you bend into that right knee, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Straighten the right leg. Exhale, triangle. So let's keep moving. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. So now you know this flow. We're going to do it a couple more times, and I want you to be aware of what your right thigh is doing. Okay, so inhale, reverse. Keep the right thigh rolling back toward the pinky toe side. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, keep that right thigh rotating out. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, reverse. One more. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Okay, you should feel a lot of work in that right leg. Now, just bring the left hand down. Bend your right knee, turn off your back heel, put both arms inside your right leg, and your back knee comes down. Yeah, just like this. Good. So, this is fine. If you can let your hips get low, try to keep that right knee in line with the right hip point. So you're trying to kind of hug that right knee in. Yeah. Now, some people like to lower down to their elbows here. That's perfectly fine if you want to try that. If it's too much, come back up to your hands. Yeah, just try to keep that right knee hugging in a little more. Yeah, good. Okay, now press up to your hands if you're on your elbows, and then press the back leg straight. So tuck the left toes, press the back leg straight. Good. You're going to step back, downward dog. Okay, now left foot steps forward, warrior two. Yes, so we're going to go deep into that left knee. Remember, watch where your feet are. Yeah, good. Feel that left thigh. Now it's rolling up and back toward the pinky toe side of your mat. Yes. Tucking the tailbone just a little bit. Press that back leg straight. Good. Should feel like a lot of work. And then flip the left palm. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, back to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. And triangle, straighten the left leg. And pause there in triangle for a couple breaths. And then we'll flow. Okay, so even in triangle, make sure you're not just locking out your left knee and letting your left thigh be loose, right? Firm up the left quadricep muscles. Yeah. And then reverse. So bend that left knee. Keep the thigh rolling back. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Focus on that front thigh. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Bend that left knee. Exhale, warrior two. Be focused on that left thigh. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. Straighten. Good. Again, inhale, reverse warrior. Is that another crack over there? Exhale, warrior two. It's good. Getting all the cracks out. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, triangle. So firm left thigh and triangle. One more. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Really bend into that left knee. Good. Inhale, reverse. And triangle. Straighten the left leg. Yeah. Pause. Okay, now right hand's going to come down to the floor. You're going to turn to face the front of your mat. Turn the back toes toward the front of the mat. Back knee comes down. Both arms inside the left leg. Yes. So here you are in that deep lunge again. As long as the left knee is hugging in, you're not letting it bow out, right? You can try coming down to your elbows if you want. You know, one side might be a little more cooperative than the other side. That's normal. Yeah, and if you come down to the elbows for a little while and then decide that's too much, then come up. It's fine. Okay, now come back to the hands if you're down, right? You're going to step back, plank. Yeah, find your way to plank. Take an inhale, exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, lift the chest. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Good. So when you're in down dog, I want you to feel your sit bones lift up and your thighs press back to the wall behind you. And make your heels heavy like lead. Let them just, with gravity, come down toward the floor. Good. And then bring the knees down, child's pose, and rest. Yeah, so we're getting toward the end of the active portion. Got one more standing sequence, but it's always good to kind of keep the body relaxed here and there, right? Come back to relaxation. Okay, so that's enough relaxation. Come back up to your hands and knees and back to downward dog. Okay. So this time, step your right foot forward and come standing up for Prasarita Padottanasana. So this is facing the left side of your mat with the feet wide apart. And the toes are going to turn in a little bit. Yeah. Hands on the hips. Take an inhale, exhale, and fold. And then release the hands down. Let the head drop. Prasarita Padottanasana A. So again, what's going to support you, especially since you're feeling so much stretch in the backs of the legs. If you really firm up the fronts of the thighs, that's going to help release some of the strain in the back of the leg. Okay. So people either love this or they hate this, but this is what we're going to try. I'm going to do it on my mat. It's too hard on the wood. Okay, so what you're going to do is turn your toes out. And I want you to bend into your right knee and walk your hands over toward your right heel and drop your bum down toward your right. Yes. Try to keep the extended leg, foot down, okay? Now you're going to stay low like a crab and walk your hands over to the left and squat your bum down toward that left heel. Yeah. Try to keep that right foot down. And again, stay low, walk over to the right. Stay low, walk over to the left. And then just come back to center. Turn the toes in a little bit, fold forward. Let your head drop. Okay, hands on your hips. You're going to come all the way up. All right, now you're going to walk, heel toe your feet a little closer together for goddess. And I would say, maybe 2 feet between your heels, toes pointed out. When you take goddess pose, it's a lot like a plie in ballet where you don't want to take goddess pose with your bum sticking out like this. So you want to try to keep the tailbone dropping down and the knees lined up with the middle toes. So just try bending the knees and coming back up. Okay, and again. And coming up. Now we're going to extend the arms up. Take an inhale, legs straight. Exhale, bend and take the arms down at your sides. Inhale, up. Exhale, keep the tailbone tucked. Knees over the middle toes. Inhale, one more. Exhale. Now stay here and breathe. Don't hold your breath. So I like the elbows out like a cactus because I feel like I can get more breath into my chest this way. And I feel like I really need it in this pose because this pose is really hard. Yeah, one more breath. Now inhale, extend the arms, straighten the legs, and exhale, release the arms. Step the feet together. Whew. Okay. Again, why do I do that? I don't even have to do that pose. No, it's okay. All right, come back to the front of your mat. Tadasana. One more sun salutation and then we'll start winding it down. So exhale here. Inhale, extend the arms up. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, lift Ardha Uttanasana. Back to plank pose as you exhale. Take an inhale and exhale, lower. Yeah, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, back to downward dog. So again, feel the sit bones lift, feel the thighs press back. Heels are heavy, right? There's a lot going on, I know, in your arms, but for today, let's just focus on the bottom half of the body in downward dog. Okay, right foot steps forward. Big step, warrior 2. You'll be tired of warrior 2 after today. So we're gonna, but it's so good for opening the hip joint, especially this one, right? The back leg. So if you're really tucking the tailbone, pressing this back leg straight and rolling the front thigh back toward the pinky toe side of your mat, you're gonna feel a lot happening in here, right? That's good. So you're gonna inhale, flip the right palm, reverse. Exhale, triangle. So we've been here before already, but just pause. Now, I want you to bend your right knee, bring your right hand all the way to the floor, extended side angle, Theta Parshva Konasana. Now you're going to straighten the right leg with strength in the right thigh muscles. Don't just lock out the right leg. Again, bend the knee, extend the left arm past your ear. Let the hips drop. Yeah, and then straighten that right leg again, triangle. Left arm straight up. Good. One more time, bending, extended side angle. And then bring the left hand down to the floor, turn toward the front of your mat. Bring the back knee down again. There's more for the hip. So this is one of my favorites. I really like this stretch. So you're going to turn the toes and the knee toward the right side of your mat, or the right corner rather. And then you're going to, with both arms inside the right leg, I should mention, let the knee fall out. Okay, so to get more stretch, you want to send your weight forward and down and lift your chest. Yeah, think upward facing dog. Let the pelvis be heavy. Breathe into that right glute. Okay, now bring that right knee back and step the right knee next to your left. We're going to take cat and cow. So inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, round. So back and forth a couple times. Inhale and exhale. Okay. Now, from here, left foot steps forward. Big step forward. Tuck the back toes. Press the back leg straight. We're going to get into warrior two from here. Back heel down. That's it. Come on up to warrior two. Okay, inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, straighten the left leg back to triangle. Okay, now you're going to bend the left knee and take the left hand down to the floor. A block is helpful here if you happen to have one under your left hand. And then straighten the left leg, triangle again. Now, focus on strong thigh muscles, and especially in this one, yeah? And then bend the left knee again, left hand comes down. Right arm can extend forward. With strength in that left thigh, straighten the left leg, triangle. Right arm extends straight up. Good. One more bending. Send the right arm forward. Okay, and then right hand comes down to the floor. Now turn off your back heel. Bring your back knee down. Both arms inside the left foot. Turn left toes and knee out toward the left corner of the mat, 45-degree angle. Yes, and let the knee fall out. So again, hips are dropping down toward the floor, chest is lifting. So think upward facing dog, yeah, that's it. Good, take a couple breaths here. Okay, and then bring the left knee back up, straighten out the foot, step back, left knee next to your right knee. Now, we're going to come up kneeling for camel pose, Ustrasana, okay? So from here, what I usually recommend is to tuck the toes under. And I'm fine if the legs are just slightly wider than hip width apart. It's going to be a little easier on your back if you have any achiness in your low back. So the hands are going to come to your low back, and I want you to just remind your tailbone to keep drawing down toward the back of the knees, elbows pointing back, chest lifting. Okay, so you can begin by just lifting the chest and leaning back, and just stay here. If this is enough, it's fine. Now, if you can reach back for the heels, that's fine, but I want you to keep pressing the hips forward, maybe dropping the head back. Now hands come back to the low back, come all the way up, untuck the feet, palms down, and rest. So that's a lot, right? That's a big back bend. So just pause here. We're going to try one more time. Rise up to the knees, tuck the toes, okay? Hands on the low back to remind it to stay long back here. Elbows point back, lift the chest. Start to look up and lean back. Yeah. Now if you want, you can grab for the heels, yeah. Great, you guys. Hands to the low back, come back up. Good, untuck the feet and bring your palms down on your thighs and just close your eyes for a moment. Rest. Yeah, that's a lot, that back bend. All right, and then bring the hands down in front of you. You're going to go back to downward dog. Yes, and just stretch, right? Just let downward dog be a stretch. All right, and then you're going to come forward to plank. And lower yourself all the way down to your belly. Okay, so we're going to give your hips a little bit of a break and work the shoulders. Yeah, so you're going to take your right arm out to the side like an airplane wing. Palm is facing down. Left hand is pressing into the floor next to your chest. Okay, right cheek to the floor, and you're going to press your left hand into the floor and roll yourself over onto your right side. And you're going to feel that in your right shoulder. So be careful, you use that left arm like the gas or the brakes, right? You can go a little farther over or you can ease off, right? Your choice. Now there are some variations here that if you want to try might feel fine. You can bend the left knee and place the foot behind the right leg. If that doesn't feel good on your back, just lay your legs down. If you want to involve the left shoulder, you can extend the left arm up toward the ceiling. And I like the left palm open toward the ceiling as the arm falls back toward the right arm. Yeah. Because that keeps the arm bone turning and the shoulder open and the rest of the chest open. Yeah. But if you don't like the arm thing or the leg thing, switch it up so that you're comfortable for 3 more breaths. I want you to just be somewhere where you're comfortable for a few breaths. All right, and then left hand comes down to the floor. Now if the knee is bent, straighten the leg, roll back to your belly, turn your other cheek to the floor, and relax. Yeah, so give it a moment to absorb all of that stretch. Now the other side, the left arm extends out, palm down. Right hand presses into the floor, and you're going to roll yourself onto your left side. Yes, and how far you go is really up to you. And be careful if you have shoulder thing, some achiness in your shoulder, don't push too hard, right? You could bend the right knee if you want and place the right foot behind your left leg. You could extend your right arm up toward the ceiling, open the palm and let it fall behind you. Yeah. If you don't like those variations, they don't really, sometimes I don't feel like I can completely relax with my arm up, my right arm up. So if you need to bring the hand down, go ahead. We've got about 3 or 4 deep breaths here. Just imagine tension releasing out of the body on each exhale. Okay, bring the right hand back to the floor if it's up. Bend, if the knee is bent, straighten. Roll back onto your belly. Good. And just pause, turn a cheek to the floor and relax. Okay, now you're going to press up slowly, so press up to your hands and knees. And then I like a downward dog here because it feels like a nice way to stretch the legs and the back. So just for a moment, a downward dog. And then knees down, child's pose. Yeah, and relax. All right, and then you're going to come sitting up with your legs in front of you, sitting on your mat. Okay, so let's work Dandasana, which is staff pose, which is this, right? We have worked the hamstrings a little bit, but let's just leave the hips alone for a second. So legs are together, thighs are pressing down, feet are flexing. You're trying to keep shoulders over hips, right? So relax the arms down at your sides and sit up as tall as you can. So this in and of itself should be a lot of work. If you're really working the legs and the feet and the chest open, it's going to feel like a lot of work. But if you can, take a little dip forward, okay? Extend the chest toward the toes. Don't worry about your arms, but think about getting more stretch into the backs of the legs with this. Right? If you're feeling any achiness in your low back, you've probably gone too far or you've started rounding in your back, and you want to avoid that. Okay, come back up. All right, bend the right knee. Take your right hand behind you. You're going to hug your left elbow around your knee and twist to the right. Keep the left leg active. Just be with your breath. And then unwind. Okay, open the right leg. Janu Shirshasana. Rest the right foot inside the left leg. Again, just like Dandasana, sit up, but then extend the chest toward the left foot without rounding in the back or slouching the shoulders. It doesn't have to be a deep fold, right? Just get some stretch into the back of that left leg. All right, come back up. Now, help this leg up onto your right thigh. We're just going to stretch one more thing in the hip. So you have choices here. If you can cradle between the crook of your elbow on each arm, if you can cradle the leg, this is fine. If that's too hard, just get your forearms under there and lift as best you can, like this, and then moving the leg, okay? Yeah, but this is going to be a little deeper. Now, the more you sit up and the higher you lift that shin, the more it's going to get in that hip. And then just rock it like a baby. Yes. Okay. And then release. Bring the right knee up and straighten. Switch. Left knee is bent. Left hand behind you. Hug that knee with your right arm. Twist to the left. Maybe gazing over the left shoulder. Keep the right leg engaged. And then unwind the upper body. Send that left knee out and rest the foot just inside the right thigh. Okay, sitting up. Fold from the hip crease. Extend the chest forward toward that right foot. Nice long spine. Think Ardha Uttanasana. You know when you inhale and you extend the spine. Press the back of the right leg. And then come back up. You're going to help this left ankle up, okay? That's the first stage. If you can get this deep cradle movement happening, you can do that, or you can just be here. And that's a little lower. That's fine. Whatever works today. Yes, as tall as you can be, and yeah, lift that leg as high as you can. All right, and then release the foot. And turn the left knee up and straighten. Okay, time to come down on your back. And go ahead and hug your knees in and rock from side to side. Yeah, a couple of breaths. If you push your knees away from your head a little bit and you rock from side to side, you're going to roll over the SI joints, which are the hip joints, basically. Connect your hip socket to your spine. Right? And then let the knees roll all the way over to the right. Arms extend out to the sides. Yeah, taking a simple twist here. And then just let your breath be natural. And then bring the knees back up to center and over to the left. Let yourself relax. Really winding things down, so let it go. And then bring the knees back to center. Happy baby pose. It's kind of a nice way to finish off. Grabbing the outer edges of the feet, hugging the knees down wide. Yeah, maybe rocking from side to side. See if you can get the tailbone to come down a little bit. Okay, and then release the feet and take your Shavasana. So find a comfortable Shavasana. Let your arms rest, let your legs rest. Let your eyes close. We'll take about 3 minutes. And focus on your breath. And I know this is a hard thing, but I was telling the class this morning, it takes a lifetime of practice. So when a thought comes into your mind, because it will, imagine it like a cloud floating out of your view, out of your mind. Right? And every time a thought comes in, let it float out. Instead, focus your mind on your breath and inhale and exhale, back and forth. Okay, now we're going to start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Start to bring some movement back into your body. Arms and legs. Maybe stretching the arms up overhead. Stretching the legs. Deeper breath. And then bending your knees, roll to your right side. Rest for a moment. Let the transition be slow. Press the hands into the floor, come up, find a comfortable seat. Bring the palms together at your heart center. Let your head drop down and acknowledge the divine light that illuminates each of us from the heart center. And thank yourself for spending some time working out all that stuff that sometimes gets stored in the hip. Energetically speaking, in that second chakra area, you sometimes get a little bit emotionally stuck there. So spending the time as you did today on the mat will help move and release. And let your head come up and open your eyes. Thank you very much. Namaste. Thanks, you guys.